All right, good evening. Thank you for joining us. We are turning back to our regularly scheduled programming now. I am Jacqueline Mazer. We did just get out of that press conference this evening, learning that more than 1 million acres in the state in the past 72 hours have burned. Of course, NBC16 is on your side with live team coverage on wildfires around Western Oregon. Alan Matthews is standing by in the Weather Center tracking down what weather conditions firefighters can expect. Our David Ochoa is live at Roseburg Airport with how smoke is affecting air support in battling the fires. Angelina Dixon is in South Eugene with details on hundreds of National Guard troops set to arrive Saturday. We are starting tonight with our Kelly McCormick, who is live from Thurston High School, where the press conference just ended. Of course, we learned, Keely, that it's 145,000 plus acres in the past 72 hours. What else can you recap for us tonight?
Yeah, they really wanted to stress that this is a historic fire that we're dealing with. It's a very big event, and it is still an active fire that they are fighting. Right now, they're working to control lines around the fire and continuing to look for ways to slow fire progression. They said that the weather will shift from easterly flow to west winds, and this is going to change the direction of the fire. Fire growth is still a major concern. This may allow smoke to rise, and it'll be more visible from the west. They're really stressing to pay attention to evacuation levels and listen to your sheriffs. The National Guards will be coming in tonight and getting to set up to assist. They said there's a very rough estimate of containment on October 29th, but again, they said that is very rough, and they want everyone to continue to pay attention to evacuation levels and stay safe. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Keely. And that is the priority, safety, of course, being number one. Now, as you just heard, over 300 National Guard members trained to fight fires will be arriving this weekend on Saturday. NBC16's Angelina Dixon joins us live in South Eugene. Angelina, these are much needed reinforcements.
Jacqueline, that's the good news to this fire that has grown over the past few days and has sent smoke all over our valley. And many people have asked, how many people do we have, and are we short-staffed in terms of fighting this fire? We asked those questions today on how to get that fixed.
Kelly Matthews has done a lot of work with the wildland firefighting community in terms of crisis communications. She says the resources for fighting fires has been low, especially when huge devastating fires rip through the Pacific Northwest.
In the Northwest, the resources are split between two different types. So when we think of wildland firefighters, we tend to think of Forest Service or Department of Forestry firefighters, which are a large number of the resources that are dispatched out to wildland fires. The other piece of that are private contract companies that supplement those resources.
She says they make up 65% of the resources that are available. But the good news comes on Thursday. Hundreds of National Guard members will be joining forces in containing the fire. They'll be arriving Saturday. That's according to Major General Michael E. Stencil. And a separate group of several hundred soldiers is coming to be trained up for the deployment. And more independent sources may be coming soon.
I think they're going to need everything they can get. I think they have, because of the volume of fires, the multiple amounts of fires in multiple different states occurring right now, that resources, not only agency but private industry, are being utilized to their maximum capacity.
Despite being relatively late in the Oregon fire season, Miley says independent firefighters are being trained right now and will be deployed to the Holiday Farm fire afterwards. Meanwhile, smoke in the valley has not only impacted quality of life, but may put a change on people's travel plans.
There have been some cancellations. Obviously, the smoke is thick, so visibility is low. We do have flight operations happening, but each airline is handling each flight, on their own policies.
Eugene Airport officials say if you plan to fly out or fly into Eugene this week, check with your airline for any updates or cancellations.
And we're on our 1,300-foot hill up here on Blanton Heights, right outside our news station right now. And as you can see, the smoke goes even as far as where we are and probably farther above. So if you're planning to escape the smoke, either by car check, trip check, if you plan to escape the smoke on the road, to make sure there's no road closures in your path. If you plan to escape by plane, check with your airline to make sure that there's no changes or updates to your flights. Reporting live in Eugene, I'm Angelina Dixon. Back to you, Jacqueline.
All right, thanks, Angelina. Normally a beautiful view from our station. Taking a look at this map now, these are the evacuation orders in Lane County. All the red areas means a level 3 evacuation notice, which means go now. Do not take time to gather anything, just get out. The yellow is a level 2 evacuation notice. That means be set and prepared to leave at any moment. Level 1 in green means be ready to leave. Pack up your valuables, including any important documents. Meanwhile, in Douglas County, the Archie Creek fire northeast of Roseburg continues to spread with those hot and dry conditions. The fire is now 107,000 acres and still 0% contained. Firefighters continue to do point protection, and they're also working with local logging crews to create control lines. Meanwhile, the French Creek fire, which is to the north, is still burning but has not yet merged with Archie Creek. Now, as the Archie Creek fire continues to burn its way through Douglas County, some people are wondering about why there is no air support. NBC16's David Ochoa joins us live at the Roseburg Airport tonight with hopefully some answers for us. David.
Jacqueline, if you were to step outside your house here in Douglas County right now, you probably wouldn't be able to see to the end of your street. That lack of visibility is what's grounding helicopters and air takers as firefighters battle the Archie Creek fire.
It's scary enough to drive a car with low visibility. Now imagine being hundreds of feet in the air with hills all around you while trying to drop fire suppressant on a certain area. That's what firefighting pilots are dealing with in Douglas County.
With this thick blanket of smoke that we have right now, it's not safe for aircraft to be flying over these fires. Right now we're down to about a quarter-mile visibility.
DFPA aviation managers say they need about 2 miles of visibility for the fixed-wing aircrafts to fly. Helicopters can deal with a little less, but it's still not safe for them. With no air support, firefighters on the ground are missing some vital help.
Aviation assets are a huge part of our operations under normal conditions. Aviation does not put fires out, but they do slow the fire spread and allow the ground resources to extinguish the fire. When we get into these situations, it really hampers our ability on the ground to fight fire.
The Archie Creek fire is by far the biggest fire Douglas County has had in recent memory. The two largest fires recently were the Douglas Complex fire in 2013 and the Stouts Creek fire in 2015. They burned 48,000 and 28,000 acres respectively over the course of a few weeks. The Archie Creek fire burned nearly 100,000 acres in just over 24 hours.
These conditions, between the fuel conditions, the weather we had with the low humidities, the strong winds, we didn't have a chance to do anything in front of this fire because it was moving so quickly.
Reed says that they are looking at some favorable weather in the coming days to a week, so they're hoping that they can do some good work on the fire. Reporting live from Roseburg, I'm David Ochoa. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that report tonight, David. And in Coos County, the North Bank Lane fire between Coquille and Bandon is about 350 acres and 20% contained. It's near mile marker 8 on North Bank Lane between Highway 101 in Bandon and Highway 42 in Coquille. There are 6 crews, 9 dozers, 9 water tenders, 5 engines, and 11 overhead resources on that fire. The cause is still under investigation tonight. All right, turning now to NBC16's meteorologist. Non-meteorologist. Are you meteorologist?
I am not a meteorologist. So.
Okay, well, one day. All right.
Right.
Sorry about that, Alan. There's obviously a lot going on.
Yes.
Tell us, what's the update tonight?
Yeah, actually, let's take a look at, first off, we still got that fire weather warning in effect to the south of us, and that including the Roseburg area, but that will only be until 8 o'clock tonight. And a couple of the conditions that we've really been watching the last couple of days, first off, those wind speeds, and take a look at that, because the wind speeds here in Eugene, yeah, they are calm right now. That's some good news as far as the firefighting effort is concerned. Unfortunately, it's going to keep that smoke socked into our area, and then take a look at the humidity levels as well. Definitely higher than what we saw yesterday, and we were about 20% or below that. So there is a little bit more moisture in the air this afternoon, so some good news there. And again, showing you this map in comparison, this is where the Holiday Farm fire is right now, and that is the size. We'll put in green the size of Eugene, and again, like we said earlier, it is now 5 times the area of the city of Eugene. We'll take more look at your weather forecast and how things are going to be changing over the next couple of days a little bit later on. Jacqueline?
All right, Alan, thank you so much. Well, here's the latest information on shelters if you need to evacuate. Again, for those evacuating west, the Thurston High School Evacuation Center has moved to Silky Field at Springfield High School. Those evacuating east are encouraged to head toward the Deschutes County Fairgrounds in Redmond. For overnight sheltering, you can get help at the evacuation meeting points, including finding shelter and registering with the American Red Cross. New Hope Baptist Church on Front Street in Creswell is also open 24 hours right now for sheltering. And we do have a number on your screen. Can we go back to that number? Is that possible? 541, thank you, 895-4436. That's for overnight sheltering information. Moving to Lane County to help provide relief from the smoke and heat there, these centers welcome anyone who might not have access to indoor shelter or power right now. In Eugene, the Lane Event Center, Hilliard Community Center, and Peterson Barn are all set up as day-use respite centers. Now, if you are a pet owner, there are places you can take your animals for safety. The Lane County Event Center has space for livestock. Green Hill Humane Society can take on small animals. Oregon Horse Center in Eugene has horse boarding options. Eugene Livestock Auction in Junction City is available to assist with hauling and transporting. Make sure to call those sites beforehand to confirm space and availability. Well, NBC16 News is on your side, keeping you up to date on fires in western Lane County. Be sure to visit our website, NBC16.com, our Facebook page at KMTR News, or download our app for a complete list of evacuation orders, fire containment levels, air quality, road closures, and of course more resources. Stay with us. We'll have more information after this break.
Alan Matthews with weather.
Well, we take a live look from our Hyatt cam off Coburg Road. And remember yesterday when you could actually see I-105? Yeah, that is not the case today, but it actually is there in the background. Now we take a look at our visibility, and again, it is very poor out there. Half a mile in both Eugene and Roseburg, 1.3 miles in Corvallis. A little bit better off the coast, though, as you're seeing a little bit over 2 miles in Newport and North Bend. Now we do have the air quality warning, and we figured this was going to get extended. This has been extended until Monday at noon, and this is covering the entire viewing area. So again, that air quality is very poor, and that is going to carry on into the weekend. In fact, we take a look at your smoke forecast and what we're going to be looking at as we get to the weekend over the next 48 hours or so. And as we put this into motion, yeah, not a lot of movement, maybe a little bit of a clearing on the coast, but you notice that smoke building right back up as we get into Saturday afternoon. So that smoke is going to hang with us for a while. Not a lot to show you with the radar satellite right now. I think really a lot of what's here is just really the smoke, not much in the way of cloud cover. But talking about our next weather maker and what we're going to be looking at over the next couple of days, what happened today, we got this low, and that actually brought a southerly flow to the coast. We actually did see some southerly winds in our area, and what's going to happen here is we're going to see some high pressure take over, and what this is going to bring us is that northwesterly flow that they were talking about earlier on in the newscast, and that's going to help bring some cooler air into the region. Now that high pressure system is going to weaken, and what we're going to see is another trough of low pressure off the coast. That is going to be moving toward our area, and that's going to shift those winds around again, bring us a southerly flow, but it's going to bring even cooler, moister air into the area, and we're going to be looking at that chance of rainfall as we start out next week. As far as our wind speeds over the next 24 hours are concerned, and again, we've seen them really calm down today, and that is going to be the case not only tonight, but also into your Friday. In fact, you can see relatively calm winds up and down the I-5 corridor. We check out your forecast. Now, this is, again, kind of tough because that smoke is playing around with those temperatures. So we're going to drop them down a little bit, and I think highs tomorrow are going to be in the mid-80s, overnight lows upper 40s to low 50s. As far as the Eugene-Springfield area is concerned, the haze is going to continue through the entire weekend. You can see that chance of rain, though, into the forecast. We've bumped up those numbers 40-50% for Monday through Wednesday. For the South Coast, you're going to be looking at temperatures mostly in the upper 60s, maybe some low 70s with overnight lows in the low 50s. Again, the coast also looking for that haze into the weekend, and then a good chance of rainfall for Monday and Tuesday. A little slight, or actually less as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. And then for the Umpqua Valley, I'm bringing those temperatures down again because of the smoke, looking for highs in the mid-80s. That haze also continuing for the Roseburg area for the weekend, and also looking for that chance of rainfall as we get into Monday and Tuesday. And actually it looks like it'll continue into the rest of the week as well. So some good news as far as rainfall is concerned. Unfortunately, it could be some bad news too, because you've got all these areas that had all this burning and excess of rain. That could be bringing some mudslide situations for some of those areas and just pushing more of that debris down into the valleys.
I see. Hopefully we do get that rain, though. All right. Thank you, Alan.
Yes.
And for more information, you can head to NBC16.com. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back. As the holiday farm fire rages on through the Mackenzie River corridor, images from inside the growing blaze are surfacing. NBC16's Dane Wormlinger joins us live in the studio tonight. Now, Dane, you've been tracking the damage to the communities within the fire zone.
That's right, Jacqueline. The damage and destruction is clear, and it's hard to look at. Many homes and businesses have been lost, but through it all, a few landmarks still remain intact, despite rumors otherwise suggesting that they were lost to the fire. Take a look at these images of the Good Pasture Bridge in Vida. This picture taken on September 8th gives us some hope, and this video shot just today confirms that the bridge, built in 1938, is undamaged. And out in Blue River, the United States Basketball Academy suffering little in damage. The world-famous training center was battered with strong winds, causing a tree to fall, which damaged a dormitory building. And Bruce O'Neill, the president of the USBA, says a few smaller fires did break out along the property's edge, but they were quickly put out.
Well, for the past 3 days, it's been very hectic for us, being right at the epicenter of where the fire started. So we've been, had some very tense moments, but thank God, so far we've been spared and all our buildings are intact.
O'Neill adds that thankfully this was a slower time for the Academy, especially with smaller camp sizes due to COVID-19 restrictions. A camp is scheduled a month and a half from now, but he says that minor damage won't put a damper on things. And other well-known establishments within the fire zone, like Ike's Pizza and the Vida Cafe, appear to be intact according to those videos that we've seen. Of course, once owners are able to return to those zones, we'll work to update you on their official statuses. Jacqueline?
All right, Dane, thank you so much. And ending with some positive news tonight. And of course, thank you for watching us tonight at 5:30. Due to the NFL football game, we will not be broadcast tonight at 6:30. We'll be back on air for our KMTR special report at 8:30 tonight and again at 11 p.m.